Well, we'll be discussing all matters of tax, and particularly how things have changed over the course of the last year, and even more particularly, what's changed in the budget, and the things that advisors can do to be able to help their clients to get more income, get more capital growth, get some, what I might call, alpha into their investment planning as well as their financial planning generally. So that'll be inheritance tax, it'll be income tax, it'll be capital gains tax, it'll be ISAs, and a whole lot more besides. Oh, lots of things have happened in the budget, and then things that did happen have been undone as well, haven't they? I think at the top of what advisors should be most interested in will be the changes to dividend allowance, bringing it down from £5,000 to £2,000 in 2018. I think that'll have quite an impact on investors, and it'll probably have some impact also on owners of small businesses who live on dividends from their businesses. Other things that are pretty important, well, after the national insurance contributions mess, I think we could describe it technically as that, we are looking at a situation where self-employed people still are in a very privileged situation. But I wouldn't be too complacent for too long, because there's an inquiry taking place over the course of the summer, and that might change the situation a little bit. So keep your eyes open on that. Another thing to look out for is the change in the cure ops rules, where cure ops have become quite a vehicle for people to do things like avoiding the lifetime allowance. And I think that is probably no longer possible given the new rules that have been brought in restricting cure ops quite substantially from budget day. And of course, there are the new rules that are being introduced with respect to the 6th of April for salary sacrifice. And they're going to change flexible employment strategies, and they're going to change quite a lot of the tax and national insurance contributions that employees expect to pay, or rather in terms of national insurance contributions that employers expect to pay. Pensions have become the great ploy for financial planners of the last year or two or so, because you can set up pensions so that they become more or less free of inheritance tax, and if the person dies before the age of 75, free of income tax as well. So it looks like a very, very attractive inheritance tax planning device. I think that there are a couple of issues with this. It's all very good news generally, but there are a couple of problems, potentially. One of them is that an awful lot of people will need their pensions to draw on in order to be able to live. So I guess that means that essentially one's saying to clients, you should be drawing on your pensions after you draw on other things. Diametrically opposed to the advice that we used to give a long, long time ago. And I think the other issue is that one could regard pensions as something that carries on and allows one to cascade assets down the generations, generation after generation. I think I would be a bit chary about that. I would be a little reluctant to suggest that that is a done deal forever, because I think sometime a government might wake up and say, pensions are not really about inheritance tax planning, they're about retirement. And I could see things changing.